Namaskar. Few questions. Why is it that we as a country are always so desperate to attract the foreign direct investments, literally giving a red carpet treatment to foreign investors? Secondly, why is it that these investors also get attracted to invest in such unknown territories instead of their own well known terrains within their own countries? And thirdly, and most importantly, now that when a number of foreign investors, including the ones from China, are showing interest to invest in India, why have we suddenly changed our policy to restrict the inflow of this so called beloved darling named FDI instead of welcoming it? Is it a regressive stand that India has taken? Are we going back from the much hyped philosophies of liberalization and globalization to the philosophy of protectionism? These are some of the questions which we will try and find the answers of in this video. As we all know, that the two important factors of production, namely labor and capital, when gets combined in certain specific proportion, results into optimum output and in turn economic growth. And that's why a labor intensive country like India attracts FDI because it needs more and more of capital to meaningfully employ its labor and to have the optimum production. On the other hand, the availability of cheap labor and a huge market size are some of the key factors why these investors are also equally keen to invest in a labor intensive country like India. So it's a win-win situation for both. Does that mean capital intensive or developed countries do not attract FDI? No, they do. In fact, the US attracts the maximum. But maybe in different kind of industries like which are more of capital intensive, and also because of different kind of reasons like better infrastructure or better ease of doing business, etc. So basically it's a free world and each investor can weigh all the parameters including the government policies of different countries and can then decide which country would suit the most for their investment. So what have we changed? The Finance Ministry has made some changes in the foreign direct investment policies in April 2020, according to which now all the countries which share land borders with India would now be required to take prior approval from the Government of India before investing in any sector, and would no longer be allowed to invest through the automatic route where there is no need to take prior approval and the investors are only required to inform RBI, that too on post facto basis. Further, these revised FDI norms would be applicable not only to the investments coming directly from any of these neighboring countries, but also to the investments coming indirectly through any other country of which the beneficial ownership is situated in any of these border sharing neighboring countries. For example, if some Chinese investor is investing in India through say Singapore, still he would be required to go through the same government approval route because the beneficial ownership is getting traced back to China. So the big question is, why this change? Because of China, of course. Although India did not name China in particular, but it was obvious that the move was aimed at preventing opportunistic, hostile takeovers by Chinese companies of Indian companies whose market valuation have dipped because of COVID-19 related uncertainties. Is India the only country to have implemented such restrictions? No. In fact, a number of countries like Australia, Germany, Italy, Spain, Czech Republic, they have already done similar changes in their FDI policies in recent months, preempting any kind of hostile takeovers. Is it for the first time that India has made such a restriction in FDI? No. FDI is coming from Pakistan and Bangladesh were already having this restriction of mandatory government approval even earlier. It's just that now it has been extended to the remaining neighboring countries as well. Of course, the main target being China. Is India right in suspecting China? I think to a large extent, yes. The biggest issue pointed out by some of the experts on Chinese investment is the country's lack of delineation between private and public entities. A lot of private firms are actually backed by the Chinese state, and that raises suspicion. China had done similar thing in the past during European debt crisis, when their direct investment in European Union had increased or rather quadrupled from 6.1 billion euros to around 27 billion euros by the end of 2012, primarily because of opportunistic buying of cheap assets during the peak of the crisis. In the current context, the biggest shock came when People's Bank of China raised its stake in SDFC, India's largest non-banking mortgage provider, to more than 1% in the midst of COVID-19 pandemic. How has China reacted to this change in India's stance? Although China has stated that these norms violate the WTO principle of non-discrimination and are against the general trend of free trade, but if we were to go by the Indian trade experts, India has not violated any norms of the WTO by making these changes in the FDI policy. And I don't think China would even raise this issue in WTO. And even if they will, India stands a good chance to sail through it. In case of the entities where Chinese companies or Chinese investors are already a major stakeholder, or in case of wholly owned subsidiaries of a Chinese firm, the revised policy may not have any impact, as there will be no change in the ownership of the company. What is the downside of this decision? Some experts believe that the restrictions on greenfield investments, the new projects, that will impact India's Make in India plan, especially in areas like mobile manufacturers or the related technologies, automobile, financial technologies, wherein India has been wooing the Chinese investors to set shop in the country and reduce imports from China. Also, the Indian startup ecosystem, which was eyeing at the Chinese investors, would also have a setback. So, what is the conclusion? All in all, we may say that this restriction was much needed, as it is in India's best interest to come out of this pandemic with its industries and entities intact and still in Indian control. In any case, FDI from China has not been prohibited altogether. It's just that it would now be routed through the government approval route rather than the automatic route. Who knows, when we are out of this pandemic and the Indian companies are back to their normal, fair and just valuation, India may review this decision again. Let's wait and watch. Till then, take care